And welcome to Crush Your Convo. We're crushing the conversation one episode at a time. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with the creator and CEO of Cherry Tree Incorporated, Martin Roth. Martin, welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right. So, for any of you guys, if you're not familiar, Cherry Tree creates Star Trek inspired computers and accessories. I talk a lot about them on my show. I am a proud affiliate of Cherry Tree. But before we dive into the company, and I love to learn more about the person behind the brand. So let's kind of start from the beginning. What were some of your favorite memories growing up, and how did you think those experiences helped shape you into the person you are today?
When I grew up, my dad was a huge model train aficionado. Hey, that's a cool mug.
I wonder where I got it.
Want to see 2.0?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. I love that so much.
I just got the samples.
Nice. First time seeing it, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Yeah, my dad was a complete model train nut. Yeah, he loved model trains, and when I was super little, my dad already made me help him, not made me, but wanted me to help him basically build little model sets and little model houses for the train set and so on. And I actually have a picture where I'm, I think 6-7 years old, something like this, and I'm painting a model ship, yeah, with a tiny brush, and it's actually it's a super sweet memory that I have of my father. And you could actually say I grew up with model making, and I was always interested in technology. This was always a thing. I was one of these kids that always took things apart and put them back together. Sometimes didn't put them back together, which made my parents
like a kid would
sometimes. But yeah, this is basically how it started. And eventually I went to engineering school. I'm an electrical engineer by trade. And I slipped in the computer business somehow. But I stopped working in IT in my early 20s. Because I had a company with a friend of mine, and we supplied mostly insurance agencies with networks and servers and computers and everything. And for me personally, I wasn't that good at customer service. Yeah, when it the thing is, our company, we excel at customer service. Yeah, for me, customer service is one of the most important things. The thing is, I personally, back in the day, I sucked at it. I was really bad. I had no patience for people. I had absolutely no patience for people. And it got so bad that I actually quit my job and started doing other things because it got so annoying. People calling me, asking me why their printer's not working.
I work in customer service.
God.
I feel this so much. I work in hospitality. I'm a housekeeping manager at a local hotel. God. So I get it.
Oh my God.
I totally get it.
This is one thing, and I wasn't made for it. And I'm like, I always had the feeling I just can't work for other people. It's
Yeah.
but here's the thing. One thing I realized early in the day is you will always work for other people.
Right.
If you have a company and you have customers, you work for your customers.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I don't have technically, well, that's also not true. That's also not true. I have bosses too, and these are the people that basically helped us get the company started. You know what I mean? So it's everybody has some kind of boss somewhere. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, that's basically how I fell into all this model making and so on.
All that good stuff. So
Yeah.
where did your love of Star Trek begin though? Was there a particular series or episode or moment that just really hooked you?
My earliest memories with this is actually from the late 80s. It's so definitely Next Generation. As far as what got me really hooked on Star Trek was actually Deep Space Nine. Oh, a little Defiant. Yes.
I wonder why there's I have a Defiant, I have Dajikoma. So you like Deep Space Nine? It's just a hunch.
Yes, yes, yes. For me, Deep Space Nine always was something very special. And there's a story I told on a different interview a little bit ago regarding Star Trek. I don't know when it started, but for some reason, Star Trek has been a really significant influence throughout my life, and this goes to a level where it's almost, I don't know if cosmic is the right term for it, or what you might call it. But so first of all, my wife and I, we met actually at a Star Trek convention. Yeah,
Love it.
but we were both not there for fun. We were both working there. Yeah, I actually, back at that one, I helped Rod Roddenberry work on his documentary that he shot about his dad back then. And for some reason, I don't even know how that started. I since a very early age on, I actually had always friends in the States. Yeah, I was born in Vienna and I lived in Vienna, and then I lived in Munich, and I always had friends in the entertainment industry, and so basically, my wife and I, we met at a Star Trek convention in Bonn at FedCon, and she was actually what's the term? The people that not host.
Handlers.
Handlers. She was actually a
Mhm.
handler of one of the German actors there, and we got introduced through a mutual friend. And my roots in Star Trek are actually super deep. I know a lot of people from behind the scenes. I know a lot of people from the production team and so on. And back then, I lived in Munich, and we had I did something completely different, and I was CEO of a company that made a pipe repair system where you can repair pipes without digging them up. And a friend of mine in the States asked me, do you want to move to the US? Because if you want to move to the US, you could actually take that system and try to re-engineer it that it works on swimming pool pipes. And so we re-engineered the system. We brought it to the United States. We basically sold everything we had in the US. We got our visa. We moved here, and we figured out that within 6 months, yes, a lot of people, a lot of pools in California are leaking, but nobody cares. Yeah.
Right.
So we eventually ran out of money, and here is where the story gets really weird. Yeah. The house we rented
The
when
cosmic
we
part.
yes, so the
Yeah.
house we rented when we moved here, uh, not was, is owned by one of the former special effects people from Star Trek. Yeah, and we had a little bit of a falling out. Yeah, the reason why does not matter, has nothing to do with this here. Yeah, and after that happened, I was done with Star Trek. I got so upset by this whole situation that I got really I couldn't even see Star Trek because it reminded me of all of this nonsense and all of this bad things and that happened, and I completely stopped watching it. Yeah. So back to that whole thing that nobody cared that the swimming pool was leaking. Eventually, we ran out of money. Yeah, and we were completely desperate. So, friend of mine, he had a pool cleaning business. So he asked me, if you need cash, why don't you start cleaning swimming pools? And I'm like, well, okay, I need to eat, I need to drink. Sure. Yeah. So we started cleaning swimming pools. Couple of months in, the guy calls me and says, hey, I have this pool account I don't want to do. It has this super steep driveway. Do you want to have it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we go there the first time, gorgeous property, super big. That was in 2012. And we drive up there, we start working there. And a couple of weeks later, I'm getting my first check. And what I always did, since we moved here, the moment I get a check from somebody, I always Google the name. Who is it? Because I was curious. So I look at this and I Google his name, and my wife hears me screaming the F word, like really loud. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, what's going on? And I grabbed my phone and I shoved it in her face. Yeah. And the property belonged to Michael Giacchino, the gentleman who made the music for the Star Trek movies from J.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael and I eventually became friends. And Michael was actually the one that helped me get this company off the ground. But the way this actually started was a couple of months working for him. His assistant comes up to me and says, Michael wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? So I walk in his office and he's like, sit down. And I sit on his couch and he's like, what's your deal? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, now, what's your deal? You're not a pool guy. What's your deal? And I'm like, oh my God, can I unload my shit on you? And he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I tell him everything. I tell him everything from the beginning to where we are. So basically, he starts. Okay, you want to redo my network? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I do. And then he's like, basically, you want to do this? And he started giving me all these cool jobs. You know what I mean? And in 2016, actually, I had the idea for the Borg cubes, and we did a lot for Michael over the years. And it spiraled a little bit out of control what we did for him. And in 2016, when I had the idea for the Borg cubes and for the company, I actually went to him and I showed him the idea. And I told him, look, what do you think about it? And he's like, you have to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but how? I have no idea who to contact and so on. And he's like, the guys from CBS that run the consumer products back then, he said, they're both friends of mine and I can call them and get you a sit down with them. And he said, but you need to make a prototype. So we started making a prototype. We got the appointment. They saw it. They loved it. And we got our first contract, basically. That's how this craziness started. I know this is a story. This is like a complete weird thing.
No, it's so funny because as you're telling this story, I'm like, I'm totally understanding this because I did not grow up with Star Trek. So I'm not really sure if you know my story, but first time I saw it was in 2022. First time ever. Never saw Star Trek. I grew up with Star Wars, okay?
Okay.
Like every kid does. But I never saw it. It was my husband who's such a fan. And finally, after 18 years, he got me to watch it. And I got so into it. Deep dive TNG, fell in love with Beverly Crusher, the whole thing. But what was interesting, though, where you're kind of seeing the cosmic of it all, I had suffered a tragedy the following year in 2023, a very violent event. And I always kind of thought, like, if I didn't have Star Trek and understand the meaning behind it, Gene's vision, the whole hope for a better future, all of that stuff, I don't know how I would have processed what I had gone through. And so Star Trek kind of just became, so important to me that, and talking to other people and listening to their stories and what Star Trek meant to them. I've heard so many of where they're like, Beverly Crusher was like the mom I never had, or it was the only comfort show because of certain things happening. And those are just, these shows, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, shape us, and they're so important. And then it even also helps guide us into, we're seeing kids in STEM because of Star Trek, right? So it's interesting how that all works, where everything was just the perfect domino for you in order to proceed from that. And kind of for me, like I was all like, I love Star Trek, I'm going to make a podcast, and here I am today. So it's interesting how that works. Now you guys are celebrating 10 years of Cherry
Hmm.
Tree this
Hmm.
year. So you mentioned you had the idea of the Borg cube and computers. So what was, like, just a light bulb? Was it just like,
Yeah, yeah. It was so. It didn't come out of the blue. The one thing is, back to computers. So I grew up. Technically, I grew up in the 70s, but and the 80s. But I like to say I grew up during the 80s because that was when I became a teenager, basically. And um, I had an interest in computers from very early on, and I still have my Commodore 64 here, and
I'm
all kind of
seeing?
all kind of
Yes,
old
my
things
husband
in
would
the
geek
back.
out. He loves to build computers, so
And
he loses his mind right now.
the thing is, in the 80s, when you and especially when I started working on machines in the 90s, um, a lot of manufacturers made a point that all the computers look differently. Yeah, Apple had different things. Silicon Graphics had different things. Compaq had different things. This kind of got lost over the years, and the more we come to this date now, we still have, okay, there's now glass, and there are case manufacturers that make a lot of gaming PCs, but the essence of all of those PCs is still all the same. There are a little bit nuances here and there, but they all still look the same. And this always bothered me. Because I always thought, computers, they're made for creativity. Yeah, and you can make amazing things with computers, but why do they have to be so ugly? Why can't they be cool and nice? Yeah, and this kind of started really bothering me. Yeah, and in 2016, on First Contact Day, I was actually watching First Contact, my favorite Star Trek movie of all time. Yeah, I love First Contact because it's simply the music, the story. It's one of those movies, in my opinion, it's perfect. It fits. Yeah, the
Hmm.
little pieces all fit together like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so right at the beginning, I see the Sport Cube flying through the screen, and my first thought was, and I have no idea why this came to my mind. I was actually thinking, I wonder if anybody ever put a computer in one of those things. And I started Googling it, and no company ever tried this. Yeah. And so that's how I came up with the idea, because um, the other thing about me is, um, I love to create. For me, this is also when you look at Star Trek Las Vegas, for example. Star Trek Las Vegas is so important for me, for all of us here, because you make things over the year, yeah, over the period of a year, and then you bring it there and you see how people react. Yeah, you see how people react. I had last year. I digress a little bit here, but last year I had a little bit of an issue with Paramount because the approval system, the old approval system, the new guys didn't have, after all these mergers, didn't have access to it anymore. And they were like, why are you selling t-shirts? And I'm like, because I'm allowed to. Since the very beginning, we did
Yeah.
this. And I proved it actually to them. But they actually asked me, why are you making so weird t-shirts? And I'm like, are you serious right now? And I showed them, I mean, that person I'm talking about, she's no longer with Paramount. That was relatively fast. But I showed her actually pictures, because we have pictures of people looking at our shirts, because we don't make shirts with the Star Trek Delta or anything. We make
No.
shirts with puns. We we make edgy Star Trek shirts. And when you stand at the booth and you see people walking by and pointing at the shirts and start laughing, this is fun. This shows you're doing the right products. When people see things, and their eyes light up, because
it's something different. It's something that they don't see before, because you're always seeing deltas and all that stuff. And I could throw in a Beverly Crusher, but if I make it a little different or something, people are like, oh, that's new, and it makes it more interesting, right? My husband has the Quark shirt, bright orange, all of that, and he loves it because he also fell in love with Deep Space Nine when he first started watching it. So I totally understand that that mindset.
The thing is when you make so the thing is what I always keep in mind is the products that we make. We don't make the products for us. We make the products for the fans of Star Trek. And every time we design a new product, there's just one thing that we have in mind, and that it touches people's hearts. It needs to be a product when they see it. You cannot make one product that everybody loves. That doesn't work.
But you're right though. I mean, we're making it for the audience. It's not for us. Like, I can make every Beverly Crusher shirt that I want because I love it. But if it's not, the fans are not going to like it, well, then it's not going to go anywhere. Now I'm curious, especially as you're trying to get the company off the ground and all this stuff. And clearly right now with supplies costs such as RAM skyrocketing, okay, how do you adapt and work through all those obstacles?
It depends on the products that we're making. So the one thing, computer industry is shot at the moment. The computer industry is trash. It's absolutely horrible because AI is swallowing up RAM and memory and storage. Prices are skyrocketing. But that's actually the reason why we are focusing on different products at the moment. And I think the most important thing is we started off strictly as a computer company. We started with every new contract iteration and with every new contract renewal, we got more shows, we got more products. And one product line I've been fighting for years to get are actually lamps. Because it falls completely out of our wheelhouse, I think is the right term for this. But the reason why I wanted to do Borg cube lamps is because our Borg cube PC cases are injection molded, and the most important thing about the injection molding process is the tool. So the tool costs, I don't know, $15,000 or $25,000, something. I think 25 grand is the tool for the Picard cubes. But the way our computer cases are actually made, I think I have a panel here actually. So a Picard cube consists out of 16 of these panels. But with the same tool, I can make transparent panels. And this is where the lamps come in. So I basically have one tool and can make different products, and they eventually let us do that. And when we saw that the computer industry basically takes a little bit of a nosedive at the moment, we came up with the idea of the wireframe lamps. And then when we said, you know what, it's Star Trek 60, let's make more mouse pads. Let's make like 25 new mouse pads. And then we had the idea with the USB sticks. So it's basically a variety. It's and the one thing that we actually try, and this is also very important, we don't make collectibles per se. We make useful things that are modeled after things from Star Trek. So I'm not saying that a figurine or a prop replica is useless. I'm not saying this, because the moment it gives somebody joy to look at, it fulfilled its purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our things, for me, it's very important that we make things that you can actually use. Yeah, like a computer, you can use for work, you can use for gaming, you can use for relaxing, for whatever. Keyboards you can work with, mice you work with, mouse pads you can use. And I think this is also what sets us apart a little bit from other licensees, because we really try to make things that people can actually use. Because in these times, in these very challenging times where money's tight, where everything gets more expensive, people actually weigh very carefully what they spend their money on. But there also comes the point with the things we make. A mouse pad is a mouse pad, and I
Everyone drinks
cannot.
their coffee.
And this is exactly the point. This is
Yeah.
a mug. This is a mug. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it looks like that mug doesn't mean we can charge an arm and a leg for it just because it's themed after something. And the same goes for the
Mm-hmm.
mouse pads or the keyboards. Our Klingon keyboard is a keyboard, and it's not a mechanical keyboard. It's not a bad keyboard, yeah, but I cannot charge $150 for it, because at the end of the day, it's a keyboard.
Yeah.
The same goes for mouse and USB sticks. And the thing is, when you have a business like this, you also start to find the balance in. You have two choices when you price things out. Are you pricing them expensive and you sell only a few, or are you dropping the price a little bit? Sometimes $5 is enough, or $4. Yeah, you drop the price a little bit, and you ensure that you actually sell more of them. And there are a lot of people. For them, it's a big difference if something costs $29 or $24.
Yeah.
And nowadays, when you go grocery shopping and you see how expensive eggs are,
Mm-hmm.
$5 make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad. It's so yeah, we try to adapt to that as much as we can.
Yeah. And even the Borg on cute, the Borg kitties over here.
Yeah,
I mean, I lost my ever loving mind. I mean, so there's my Obi-Wan on my wrist. He gave me 18 wonderful years. And so when I decided to buy that, and I sent them pictures and stuff, because they painted it just like
yeah.
that right there just made my day. Like, this is not something that I can get off of the Paramount website. You know what I mean? Like, this is something unique but special, and it's something from Silly, where you see cats on computers or on your desk or whatever. Like, it's such a simple concept, but it means so much because people love their cats or their dogs or whatever.
You want to
So
see
I
one of the
love.
new ones that we're bringing?
So I know you guys are making like different characters. So yes. Oh, it's. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. The detail on it. Like, I've seen the video with the Jem'Hadar, and just like the perfect
Yeah.
little details in the painting is
The
so
same.
cool.
So the cats
Love
themselves,
that.
the cat base, yeah, the
Uh-huh.
cat itself, they are actually made. They're 3D sculpted, and all the add-ons that the
Mm-hmm.
special ones have, these are all hand sculpted. So they're
Oh
actually added
gosh.
with clay and sculpted by hand. And
Wow, that's
yeah, Worf here
amazing.
is
With the little batlet.
yeah. So this is speaking of Deep Space Nine. We're gonna have a bunch of Deep Space Nine characters. So, and these we only gonna have one of each.
Right.
Yeah,
Especially if
we're
they're
only gonna
hand
have one of
sculpted.
each, and
Yeah.
I don't quite know yet what we're gonna do with these. If we sell them, or if some of them gonna be auctioned off, I don't really know yet. We're gonna have, so we have Worf, then we have a Cardassian. We call it Gul Dukat, and we have. Oh my God, we have another Klingon, but he's from a different show. But he has his gold uniform and so on, super pretty. Then we have the Jem'Hadar, We have Chatsia cats. It's also very gorgeous with the
The spots, yeah.
spots. And the last one we're gonna make is Quark.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
did make a joke when I saw you guys. I was like, if you guys do a Beverly with a red wig, I'm gonna lose my living mind. I'm like, I'm buying it. Like, I don't care. Tricorder, red, pick a wig from a certain season. Be perfect. Oh my gosh, that is so great. So now you've branched out a little bit with some Star Wars inspired products. Are there any other fandoms that you might consider in the future, or do you just see Cherry Tree Remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
Stargate.
Stargate,
I
nice.
desperately let me put Warfare away here. I desperately want to have a Stargate license because Stargate is also for me very, 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 very important franchise. But it's owned by Amazon, and they're a little bit difficult to deal with. And we keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Star Wars. So here's the thing. The decision to do Star Wars product wasn't mine. That wasn't mine. That was a decision from a group decision where I got kind of outvoted, and we tried it. The problem is with this. Disney is a little bit difficult to deal with. They're also financially very, very tough. Yeah, when it comes to licensing, you need to pay something called a minimum guarantee. Depending on the license, now I see you better. Depending on the license or depending on the IP, it depends how much minimum guarantee you pay. Star Trek used to be actually very reasonable, and over the years got also very tough financially. Disney, however, when we started this, had a super high threshold of $100,000, and only for North America. So this was already, very tough. And only the first three. We only had the first three, and we also could only do cases, and it was incredibly tough. And the next thing is, the approval process is a gigantic pain. I know licensees that when you ask them, do you have a Star Wars license? They say no, because I want to survive. It's literally like that. And they changed a little bit as of last year. They don't want 100,000, they want 200,000, but you can pick and choose what you want from all the other studios they own. Yeah, you can basically choose from Fox and whatnot. My biggest problem with all of this is, I like Star Wars. I think it's fun. Yeah. But it doesn't come close to Star Trek. I'm sorry. It's Bill Nye, the science guy, said it best. He said, Star Trek is science and facts, and Star Wars is space wizard and magic. And this is, if you ask me, this is I like watching Star Wars. I like watching Star Wars. But let me put it this way. I like watching Star Wars as much as I like watching The Hobbit. I mean, honestly, I like watching The Hobbit more than watching Star Wars. The Hobbit makes more sense.
I mean, facts.
But there's another thing, and I want to come to this, is I like making products that I understand. Yeah. And so what I mean by this is I know what's going on with Star Trek. I know what's happening. I know the shows. I know the characters. Yeah. I'm nerd enough that I can say, okay, when somebody says something, I'm like, yeah, but this is wrong. This is not what happened in that episode. I'm one of those people. And
same.
And
I'm so annoying sometimes.
when you look at when you give me something Star Warsy, I'm like, okay, that happened. I have no
Yeah.
idea. And I do think it reflects in the products,
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't want to make products just because, um, yeah, I don't, I wouldn't say don't care about, but I like making products for IPs I really care about. And
A
next
passion
to
for it.
sorry?
A passion for it. You want to have
Yes,
that passion for
yes,
it,
yes,
because you
yes,
are putting so much work into it. You want to make,
yes,
enjoy that process, even though how hard it can be. Like, I'm
yes.
also very creative. I love making videos, like putting things together and creating something out of it. But if it's of a show that I'm like, I don't know, just throw it together, it's not going to be as fulfilling as like the ones that I make of Beverly Crusher or Star Trek. Now, with this being the 60th anniversary, as well as 30 years of First Contact and 20 years of Enterprise, what other major celebrations or special plans do you have? I know you're talking about the mouse pads, and of course we have Worf, son of Meow, over there.
Oh my,
Um,
oh my God, what the heck? That's brilliant.
I'm like cat meow. There we go. Is there anything else that you have planned that we like, especially when we go to STLV, that we
Oh
might be able
yeah,
to
oh yeah.
see?
We work. So the one thing that we like to build, and it's actually a computer. We had one at STLV last year. Is our XXL Warp Core, the super tall one. And the thing with these is we can only build a handful of these because the case that we use for this is not available since 2019. And I basically buy one. I don't look how much the case is. I just buy it when I find one. And the
Mm-hmm.
last three we actually got from Sweden. That's how extreme we are with these builds. Yeah. And I have one left. And this is gonna be a first contact edition, also only one. And all the other ones were themed after the Enterprise D. This one is themed after the Enterprise E. There's a whole diorama in it in front of the warp core. It features the whole scene where the Borg Queen tries to put the skin on Data, and there's carpeting in
Gosh.
on the floor matching the carpet of the engine room, and it's this is gonna be insane. And it's actually we had to take this case completely apart because we usually do them all in white, but because of the dark theme of that whole Borg invasion, what we actually did, we took the case apart, and the case is white on the outside and it's black on the inside, and it's
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's so gorgeous. This is one of the things we're gonna have.
Oh, I'm so excited to see that. Now, I do have a video that I saw, and I just, for my last question here, go ahead and play that right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it
This
is.
is our flux capacitor DeLorean PC case that we made. It's a one of a kind, and
So,
Yeah.
of course, since starting the company, what has been like the most, memorable or unbelievable moment that you're just like, I cannot believe that happened? Like me to Doc Brown, probably.
So we didn't even know back then that Chris Lloyd was gonna be there. And we built that case because I love Back to the Future, and we had the year before that, we had a very rough version of this, and I didn't like it. And then we made this one that was completely made out of stainless steel with the flux capacitor, with the screen accurate one on the front and everything. And Terry Metellus came up to me actually, who I know through Michael as well, and he told me, "Do you want me to get you back there that Chris can sign it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that would be really awesome." Yeah, so he got me there, and the one thing you could actually see him, he was super tired. Yeah, he was so tired, and he was signing
Yeah.
autographs, and we came there with that thing. I explained it to him, and his face started to light up. Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
took the door off, and he signed it. That was a really sweet moment. One thing that touched me that has nothing to do with actors or celebrities. These are two customer stories. One is it's not only one of our first ones. It is actually the very first Borg microcube that we ever built.
Nice.
Yeah, the very first production model.
Yeah.
And it actually says here on the bottom, number 1 out of 359.
Oh, wow.
And the story with this, why we have this, is a woman bought this for her son. And several years later, she actually called us and she told us that her son passed away, unfortunately. And she wanted us to have it. So this is very special. This is a thing. And the thing is, it actually, when we got it, it looked like this. It was that dusty and everything. And we actually decided we're not cleaning this. This needs to be this needs to be with us exactly like this. Yeah. We never opened it. We never removed any components. This is literally how we built it for them. And when we got it back, yeah, she didn't sell it back to us. Yeah, she just said she didn't want anything happen to it, and she wants to return it to us. And this was very special. And then we had a second. We have another customer. She bought a gaming PC. I think it was a Picard Cube, if I'm not mistaken, for her son, who was also dying. And it was basically his. And I'm doing this on purpose. His dying wish to own one of our machines. I think it was a Snow White artifact now. Yeah, and we built it, and he actually himself over the years, yeah, started contacting us, and he got better. He got better, and he's still alive. Yeah, and
wow.
Super nice kid, and had problems with it a couple of like 1 or 2 years ago, and checks in once in a while. And these are really nice things, you know. When people like
this
your
is why you
product.
do this. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of going back to what we were saying at the beginning of this is that, you know, we're doing it for people, you know, to enjoy our product, you know. And so to have those kind of stories is I'm sure that being so special because you're like, this is why I do this. Right. So there's this one portion that I like to do at the very end called crushing questions. And it's just random questions, spitfiring. You can answer as quickly as you want or however you would like it, but they're all random and different stuff just to get to know you better a little bit. So my first question for you is, what's the weirdest job you've ever had?
Oh, definitely pool guy. Oh, definitely pool guy. Oh my god. Oh
Now,
my god.
if you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Healing people.
Oh, love it. Beverly Crusher would agree. Now, what's your favorite season?
My favorite season? Winter.
Winter. Love
Not
it.
in California.
What winter? What's that?
But it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like this. It's only since I live in California and I don't know what winter is anymore. It used to be spring.
I'm from California. I didn't know what winter was till I moved. Okay, so I get that so much.
Remember this drought that we had like a few years ago? It was for 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, I wake up one morning, I look outside, and I'm like, I can't stand the sun anymore. Make it go away.
Yeah. I lived in Moreno Valley, so Inland Empire area, and we're below sea level. So I remember waking up to 120 degrees. No big deal. It's fine. But my husband, who lived up in the mountains, he's like, oh, it's a nice 65. I'm like, shut up. Just stop talking to me. Gotta love California. Now, is there a favorite book or movie that you can't get enough of?
Several. First Contact is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, a very hard question. Name your favorite food. See, it is a hard question.
Oh, mean, because I'm on a strict diet at the moment.
So the food you wish you could.
There's actually with food, there's a lot. There's I don't have a favorite food. I mean, pizza is one of my favorites. Pizza is definitely one of my favorites, but
Yeah,
anything that's good.
agreed.
Not
Absolutely.
gach.
Huh?
Not gach.
No, no, no. Yeah, we could. Or was it in Conspiracy and TNG? Those worms. Hard pass. It's fine. Don't need to have that. But you know what, Martin? This was such a fun conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to just let the listeners know where they can find you guys on what you guys will be doing next. I know you're going to be hitting STLV.
Yes, we're gonna be at STLV. We're gonna have super cool new products there to show. And if you want to check out what we are doing or want to check our products out, you can go to mycherrytree.com. Sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date with everything we do.
Yeah. And as I've been on the bottom here scrolling, if you want to use my code CrusherCombo6, you will get 6% off your order. Especially cool little Defiant. I used this. So I did a convention last month and I was doing a panel, and this was my my slides. This was very important for my panel. The Defiant was there for me. So thank you very much.
We actually are coming out with gold pressed platinum USB sticks.
Oh my gosh.
And they are gorgeous. I saw my supplier sent me the first picture today in the morning. And I saw it, and I was immediately like, "Oh my God, those are gorgeous!"
That's so great.
Yeah.
I bet you my husband's gonna get that one because he's just gonna think it's hilarious, and he's gonna need one.
Yeah, they're gonna be so pretty, and they're actually metal. They're not plastic. They're metal. They're full metal, and yeah, super pretty.
I can't wait to see that. That's so great. Well, thank you to everyone who is watching and probably in the chat right now. Really appreciate it. Like he said, hit mycherrytree.com to check out all his products. And until next time, live long and prosper. Bye. Don't forget, you can listen to all the audio versions of Crusher Combo on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can support the podcast by buying merch on TeePublic, buy me a coffee by scanning that QR code, or becoming a Patreon member for as low as $3 a month. But the best way to support Crusher Combo is to like and subscribe here on YouTube. You can also find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, or TikTok, so please follow me there. And of course, all this information can be found on CrusherCombo.com.
Crusher out.